Hello everybody and welcome back to SpeedForce Racing. My name is JB and I'll be taking you through tonight's proceedings here in the GP2 division. But I'm not alone, and for some strange reason they let the elderly ones get hold of the controller tonight. For the first time in a long time, Alex, welcome to SFR.
Hello. It feels good to be here, man.
Yeah, we had to get our Zimmer frames out, didn't we?
Feels like this is like late 2018. Feels like we've travelled back in time.
Yeah, to an age before the days of Sebastian Vettel leaving Ferrari, when we actually had racing and when my beard was mildly shorter. Only mildly, though.
The land before time and all that.
No, that's what they call my bedroom.
Oh. Well, it's good to be here, man. Never missed your shit jokes, but it's good to be on the stream with you once again. Good to be back in what we call this the comms box. I think it's social distance box at this point. I'm in a bedroom.
You're over in sector 3. I'm over in sector 2.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll see how the latency goes. But as the viewers plough in, like normal, since I've come back to SFR, whenever I have, I'll be watching the stream side of things. So if my reactions are a bit late, then I do apologise. But no, it feels good to be here. We've got 19 drivers set up here to go. Yeah, I'm excited, man. The Mexico track, not one of my favourites, but hey.
The Autodromo Hermano Rodriguez. Great, a commentator on. I really struggle to drive it. But before we do anything else, let's have a look at the drivers' standings, because the battle at the top is still fighting there. Only a few wins in it, and I think, speaking to James Braden last night, he said he just needs to outscore. If he wins tonight, he needs to win tonight to beat JP Ogan, or at least feel more comfortable. But JP Ogan is in second place from James Braden, who's in first place. Shane Gainwell is in third place in the championship, ahead of Dantan, who's in fourth. Lizard is in P5, ahead of Sanchevich, who's in P6. See, Jonas is in P7, just ahead of Mike Bards, who's in P9. Laronix is in P10. Mike Bundy, after a poor season, is P11, ahead of AJU, who's in P12. Langfell is in P13, ahead of King David, who's in P14. Baboon J has since left the league. Trayman is in P16, and Potato is in P17. That's the driver's standings. Before we do anything else, let's have a chat, though, about this circuit. I guess spanned with another invite by Mike Bundy. This track is... The last time SFR was here, apart from the GP3 and GP4 race and the reserves race, was the classic race, where they drove the BMW 14B. This is going to be mildly different than that, because they actually are going to have downforce and be able to overtake properly, you know?
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing about the circuit, though. Few overtaking opportunities, especially in the first sector, back straight. You've got the straight after the, I guess you'd call it a wide chicane, if you like. Thank you, Tanner. Sorry in the chat. What a duo. Thank you very much. But it's up from that, the middle sector, it's more technical. You've got to sort of make sure your wheels are in line so that later on in the lap you can sort of have a go at overtaking. So really, it's more, this race is more of a race of attrition and how much the limits of mistakes rather than going for moves.
Of course, a very wide run down to turn 1, which can see the cars go to 3, 4 wide. Occasionally, if you're lucky, you can go 5 wide, but then someone is going to end up on the grass. High chance of safety car here, and a possible chance of rain. This track is very high up in altitude, and we will see some quick times here as we head towards qualifying.
Absolutely, you know, it's going to be one of those... Qualifying is not essential here, but it's definitely beneficial. I mean, in every Grand Prix, qualifying is beneficial, but as I said, that middle sector, there's not much overtaking going on. There's too much tight turns, you know, a lot of understeer, especially. You don't want to lose your front wing around here, because that
Just apologies, I'm trying to change my mic settings. It's a little bit high. There we go. Let's bring that down a bit. So hopefully that's better, so you can actually hear the car. So I have had some conversations with leagues where they're like, "Oh, your voice is too high, so you can't hear the cars." And that's fair. I turned it up a while ago. Now I've turned it back down. So hopefully it's fine. And it's a little bit softer in everyone's ears. Less Gaby Croft, more Martin Rundle.
as we now wait for the drivers to go to the circuit, or at least on my page anyway, who have you got then for pole? I haven't been around in a while. I'm like a part-timer now. So
Well, so am I.
you should keep my eye on if in your memory banks.
Well, it's dry, so we can obviously assume that we'll see one of the McLarens up on the top row. But I think it's no different to if we just expect the unexpected, as we always do in GP2.
Is that a new feature? You can get the map now on the
Yes.
multiplayer thing.
It's very
Ooh.
helpful. It's so much more helpful because you can tell when someone crashes.
Shows how long it's been since I.
Oh, that's interesting.
What?
Look at the chat.
Try to rain in the race.
Yay! I love dry to wet races because now the setup has just been thrown way out the window. So I'm really excited now.
Yeah, I've missed that giggle of yours.
You mean the insane chortle of a madman?
Sure, if that's what you want to call it, buddy, call it that.
I often say when I'm going to bed, I say I'm off to Bedlam. So I return back home to the old Bedlam.
Interestingly, on my screen, no one's said to come out yet. Maybe, like you said, with the setups, it's a bit of a conundrum.
We have some cars leaving, and one of them is the Haas of Mike Bards.
Oh, Gunther Steiner then just wanted to go out and get it done, as we normally do, as back our old joke of taking the nick out of Gunther Steiner.
I like Gunther Steiner. He's a guy I want to meet, and I just want to hug. Obviously, once able to, I want to just hug him and go, thank you so much for being such a good guy.
So Mike Bards then in the Haas. That's a name I remember. I don't know how much he's been able to achieve here at SFR. That's just because my memory fails me. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does with the other drivers that are on track, King David and Shane Game, at the moment. So it's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, obviously I can't really take you through laps here because I'm like 10 seconds behind or something. My timer is showing 16:15 now.
Yeah, so there's a good 30 seconds in the gap.
There's a good 30?
Well, 1 second, we just hit 16 on the clock now.
7 seconds. Then.
Oh, 7 seconds, yeah. I do apologise.
I was like 30.
I haven't had coffee today. I've been sleeping. I got home from work, went straight to bed after having some chicken dippers, as you always do.
For me, Mike's just entered the stadium section.
Yeah, he's just going through the middle of it now. Mike Barnes starting the lap. The 24 car just coming through the final corner now as he heads towards the incredibly long straight towards turn 1, but still not the longest run of turn 1 in Formula 1 history. That award still goes to Spain. But traffic is going to be a problem here, because if he approaches that traffic, particularly the Alfa Romeo that's heading into Sector 2 now, if he hits that traffic in Sector 2, it's a bit of trouble, isn't it?
Yeah, like I said, there's no overtaking opportunities really in Sector 2, and the cars can't really get out of the way in Sector 2 either. So, unless they just dip off the circuit, but that'll affect their tyre run. So really, this has got to be one where you just got to get your car in the right place at the right time. And we've got to hope that Mike doesn't really get in trouble with too much traffic. I think he will. I think there's a Ferrari up the road, if my eyes don't deceive me.
Some great support in the chat for the Greek drivers, for Lazard, Stam and Mike Bards. It's great to see support for all the drivers in SFR. Look at that, so planted for the Haas.
Very good round here. Looks like he's got it set up perfect. Looks like he's not. Mike's thought about that rain later on in the race, and he's thought maybe I just need a good setup just to get me around the circuit, and maybe the wet weather will help him. But he comes close to the Ferrari and in a lap, but the Ferrari will now begin to start his lap, so I don't think there'll be any problems with the Haas.
1:14.9 for the first lap. Here's Chen going, wow, Robin in the Williams car, flicking it through as an invalidated lap time, so we're going to head straight to King David in the the racing shite, the Aston Martin, coming through the final corner.
Stroll Club.
That's why I'm giving it. I'm being very well behaved. I'm giving it a nice new look at the team when it becomes Aston Martin, because I like Aston Martin. On screen now is the season 6 GP4 champion of Senna, my son.
He's on the mediums, only 3/10 slower than King David. That's a solid lap from Senna.
Laronix now cutting through traffic as he passes the cars that have already done laps. That's also a problem in this track. If you're in the second stage of runners, lock up there for the inside of the Alfa Romeo, you do often end up getting stuck behind a lot of traffic.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I was saying. You need to pick and choose your moments carefully around the circuit. You can't you do need to look at the circuit, see where people are, decide your time perfectly, and then go again. Interestingly though, AJU has gone on hard tyres for this lap. So maybe he will be doing mediums at the end, maybe trying to get a top 10, and maybe trying to run to the end until the rain hits.
Intriguing.
However, obviously we don't know how heavy the rain's going to hit. It would be nice to have weather forecasts up in the box, but we don't. It could be light rain with no change of tyre.
I tend to believe it's going to be a nice full wet weather setup. Lee now coming into the chat saying that he thinks Mike Bundy will do well in the Mercedes. Let's take a look at Mike Bundy here. The man who ended up in the pit wall in America. That's one more week away before the fear sets in for the pit wall.
Yeah, good to see Lee
Purple
in the
in Sector
chat.
1.
It's been a while since we had a great chat. And the Mercedes, they're purple. It's the first sector. Oh,
But
and it's
Stam. Yeah, go on.
Greek. He's just been a quality. Stam's a quality driver. We always know he gives 100%. I remember back in the day when he was in a fight with Sven for the top. I think it was a GP3 at that time. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, you are. Sorry, I'm just admiring how much downforce these cars have got.
So I know that Stan will give 110%. As it's going to be an interesting one for sure. But as I'm seeing Mike Bundy through here, this is a great lap from Bundy. He should be very proud of himself.
Mike Bundy, very, very planted in the Mercedes-Benz. What can he do as he crosses the line? It's P10.
After a very good first sector then, he must have lost it somewhere. Purple to the first, then they got 2 seconds slower.
Lazard has bailed out of his lap time, so he's going to retry his other time as he cuts into the pit lane. Pit lane speed here is obviously 50 miles an hour. Here's AJU, who has a very Brendan Hartley-esque helmet, and I really like it. There we go, helmet talk with JB is back.
This is one of those this time in qualifying where it sort of slows down for a couple of minutes. People recollect themselves.
Oh, we drowned! AJU spinning at the S's. Lost grip as he gets out of the way of the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah,
very well done to him.
Just as I saw it there, he just dipped his tyre a bit too much over the line.
And knocking over a polystyrene board. The marshals won't thank you for that one.
Lucky save there. It's just kind of like it's good that I'm a bit behind because I get to have a second look at things. And I'm prepared to see crashes and stuff. But yeah, he just dipped his tyre slightly over the line there and he crossed it, trying to get as much out of the track as possible.
Oh my god! I as I was watching the car in pit lane, I heard the siren go off to let people know that there was a pit lane, that there was a driver coming down pit lane.
Yeah.
My heart skipped a beat because at work on Sunday night the fire alarm went off. So I thought, shit, the fire alarm's going off.
Oh dear, that would have been...
Oh god, that's worrying, isn't it?
interrupting everyone's SpeedForce racing content.
Oh god, what has work done to me? Don't work in a hotel, it kills you. Laronix, improving on his lap time, pops it into P3.
Work in the media industry instead, it's always fun.
I want to. Oh, Electro Dan's gone purple in Sector 1. What can the Alfa Romeo reserve driver do today?
Electro Dan, another name that I know. Maybe Sector 1's just really quick. I don't know what happened to Bundy's lap. It's kind of why I wish we had the stuff that the actual broadcasters do. We could just have a random chat to the drivers.
Purple in Sector 2.
Bring them in. We could just bring them in because we also get their thoughts on after a lap. But Electro Dan is very good here, especially if he's a reserve, getting a couple of purples.
He's out of power. He has no ERS power as he comes through the final corner. What can Dan do? Sorry to cut you off, Alex. The 43 car is running on pure power. It's P3.
Don't apologise, buddy. That's the problem with being a couple seconds back. Still a very good lap from Dan. Maybe if he had the power, he would have. I can't see what Stan's purple time is. It's too grainy on the street.
It's 1:14.493.
He's got a 5/10 lead. But as you say, we're looking at Langfield now. I wonder whether the car in front of him is helping him or hampering him. We're going to see how it is into the stadium section.
Potato is on a lap time, so he has no obligation to let him through. But Langfeld is getting pulled along by the Racing Point.
He's definitely faster, but is he a bit too fast than Potato?
He might. I think he could complain. He could be like he was blocking me. At the same time, he was on a lap time, so you can't do anything about it. Renault pulling in the old tactics of giving one driver a tow, and that's from the GP4 champion is towing along Wide Low Billy.
Yes, Senna.
My son,
Hope he has a good,
yes.
hope he has a good Grand Prix. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is my son, because at one point I was really invalidated that time. At one point he said he said on commentary that I was his father. He said, "Oh, I'm here with my father," and it shocked me. And so ever since he's been my son, I've looked after him, nurtured him to the point
Christ,
that he has done what I could not have done, and he won a championship.
Christ, I feel bad for him.
You
Anyway,
should feel bad for him. I'm a terrible father. It's whipping every night. It's you will do this. You will go quicker this lap. You can go 5/10 quicker. I put pins in his helmet so when he puts it on, he's bleeding.
could you do me a quick favour, buddy, and change the tyres to current? Because we've got it on best.
I can. So fitted tyres are now on.
Yeah, because I could see on Sanchowic's thing on the thing was that he was on soft, so I could see that it was driving medium, so I wanted to see whether it was game glitch, but no. As we can see, the company that must not be named on the front wing there of the Haas.
Here's Weebegs. Weebegs in the Ferrari. What can he do? As he tries to get the car all turned around. Very comfortable there.
So I'm liking the new names. Neuronics, that's the new one. That Nude Potato.
Clothed potato, please. SpeedForce Racing is always clothed, except for the commentators who are completely nude in the saunas.
Exactly, you can't be nude in the F1 car. Everything be dangling about.
It seems we have a slow car. And well, there's things normally dangle about in Ferraris. We have a slow car ahead. That is the racing point of, it looks to be Potato. Potato getting well out the way for the Ferrari as he cuts back along the apex, flicking through the stadium section. Whoa, a little bit unsettled on the curve as he comes through the final corner. What can Weebegs do as he comes through, powering towards the line? Only a little bit of ERS lost. He's just up on his time. The 13 Ferrari.
An improvement is an improvement.
Whoa, that's wide for AJU. He's found a new part of the circuit. He's off to get a taco. I actually had Mexican for dinner as well, so I'm like actually on theme of where we are, you know.
I had sausage and chips, but we're currently looking at JB Hogan going through. Oh, what were you? Oh, I'll find out in a second.
We're jumping. No, I was alring at your sausage and chips. Bangers and mash are much better.
No, not when it's sausage and chips and the chippy though. Ooh.
No, if I'm going to do chippy, I'm going to get Shadow Britain joins as a driver, so he'll be filling in.
You're gonna get Shadow Britain as a driver for the chippy.
No, I'm trying to think what car he's going to be in. Toro Rosso, we've got two of. Racing Point, we've got two of. I think he's going to be in the Williams. Williams.
Sorry, mate.
No, we've got two. We've got Punch and we've got Weebex, so I think it's the Williams. No, not the Williams. Hold on.
Racing Point.
No, we've got two of those. We've got David and Potato. What car's he going to be in?
I don't know. Find out.
Renault. No. Here we go. Two idiot commentators who can't remember their cars. No, not Red Bull.
Toro Rosso.
No, they got two of those. Lizard and AJU.
Oh fuck! Excuse me. Oh god! That's just
We're broken.
Excuse my language.
Help!
He's going to be in the Formula 1 team. He's going to be in the AlphaTauri.
What, the 2020 car that we don't have hold of? Well, I have hold of, but no one else does. What car is he going to be in?
My brain hurts. Not Haas.
McLaren? McLaren! He's going to be in the McLaren, of course! He's going to be taking T. Jonas's place.
There we go.
There we go, we got there in the end. Remember at the top of the show when I said we were both elderly people? We are most certainly elderly.
Only took one F-bomb, which is always...
That's a limit on what we normally do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, we used to be quite good when we were.
We used to be good, but now we're old. We just don't give a shit.
Well, we're not under contract anymore, so you know. Okay.
No, we came here because Mexico decided to offer us a party, and they found me. I haven't stopped partying since I left FSR.
Yeah, I have a Fiesta with David Guetta in the city. So, I'm getting excited. No, punch you in the heed, as I like to say. Heed. But no, JB, are you looking forward to F1 2020, or so everyone kind of gets the setup ready for the last lap?
I love that you're asking the guy that's actually been driving it.
Yeah, how was the experience?
Can't tell you. I actually had to sign an NDA, so legally I can't say much.
Can I ask a few questions? And
you can
answer this. Is it an F1 game?
It is a Formula 1 game.
I assume Hanoi and Zandvoort are in
No.
there.
Well, it's in the game, but I don't have access to it.
So you had access to Monaco, only Monaco,
No.
right?
No, I wouldn't even want to do it if it was at that track. Though I found out that you can buy tickets to sit on the rock at the final corner at Monaco for £57, and I'm very interested in doing it.
I'm surprised that Dwayne Johnson allowed that to happen. Anyway,
I would sit on Dwayne Johnson every day. Looking at Mike Barnes as he goes on for the final set of his laps, he's going to get about 2 laps here. At some point, we will learn to not be decent. We will learn to be awful commentators again.
Can we have the first time ever a Haas on the front row?
I think SFR has seen a few Haas on the front row. I was in the front row in a Haas at one point.
Oh yeah, but you don't count.
Because I'm elderly.
No, because you're Jack.
Because I'm black.
It's because you're Jack. It's because you're Jack. No, yeah, you're
Lewis
Jack
Hamilton got to say that. I could say that.
It's because you're Jack Black.
Yes, I am secretly Kung Fu Panda.
You are Tenacious D.
I am Tenacious D.
I am the Carl Gas to your...
God. Lee, what monster have you created? Mike Barnes didn't ban anything as that time.
That's not what you want to say. I don't think you have the chance to... Is he going to have to run... Does he not have the chance to go into the pits again?
No, he won't be able to pit again. He's just going to recharge the car and go one more time. Look at the gaggle of cars coming into Sector 2, though, on the map. You'll see in about a minute.
Exactly, Mike Barnes, count yourself lucky, mate. You should be okay. Everyone now leaving the pit lane as well. I don't think Mike Barnes will get into trouble with those guys. I think they're a bit too far up the road.
Looking at Lazard now. What can the 2B Alpha Tauri Toro also do as he comes through the final corner, cuts the inside line? It's going to be P8 on the medium compound tyres. He's done 3 laps on those tyres as well, so well done to him. Billy is a 10th quicker right now as he looks to improve his time. Wait,
no, I mean, obviously I can't think. Like I don't have the same brain as Lazard, but maybe I'm thinking he knew he probably wasn't going to qualify in the top. Wanted to get a bit of practice with those medium tyres, but Billy on my screen goes up to P10. Strong right there from Billy.
Trying to focus on drivers that are getting lap times in. One of them is the Ferrari punching a heed. So what can heed do?
Well, I think
it's heed, the clove potato, and James Brayton.
I think Mike's ahead of him now, isn't he? I think Mike's literally the car ahead.
It might be, but whether Mike's on a lap time or not, we don't know. He looks to be powering through the corners, and he's into the wall, so he's definitely not going to be continuing qualifying. I still hate it when people do that. That drives me utterly mental, you know. In the races, in the race, I saw someone crash himself out deliberately and cause a safety car. Not in SFR, in a different league, because SFR drivers will never do that. Punchy heat.
But does punch you in the heat go any higher? 16th on my screen there.
Mike Bundy is a second up in Sector 2.
Go on, Bundy!
Mr. Bundy, Marvellous Bundy is going to be P8.
Looks like a Williams 1-2, mate.
Looking to be that way, but there's still time to go. Martins retires. Chengo Rao has been beaten by JB Ogan. JB Ogan putting it into P2. What can Stam do? He's a little bit faster. He's got a car in front of him as he cuts across the S's. What grip from the Williams.
Maybe I should just say things and they won't happen. Like, we got a Williams 1-2, 2 seconds later. Then more Williams 1-2.
AJU is standing in the way of Stam. Stam's not going to allow to conquer him, no. What can the Greek driver do? Can it be another pole position to add to his record here in SFR? AJU crashing into pit lane. Here comes Stam, no. It's a quicker lap time. No, it is not.
I don't know what AJU was doing there, going to the pit lane.
I think he lost the rear end trying to get into pit lane. Easily done. See a Red Bull cutting the Mexico sign there. He's going to try and stay out of the way, but he's right in the way of punching a heat. I told you to take away Heaty there, didn't I? I told you to Korg.
Sure you did, buddy. Sure you did. Yeah. Want to start a revolution?
The revolution has begun.
To create a revolution.
I love Korg. Korg is great.
I didn't get to the pamphlets.
Korg is amazing. Taika Waititi as a person is amazing. He's another person I want to meet and just like hug. Mainly because IG-11 was amazing as Mandalorian. No one else has watched it. What? Yeah, he was. He directed the first episode.
Yeah, but he's not in it much, I was going to say.
Oh, well, good. He was in it enough to make him a fan favourite character. I reckon he'll rock back up at some point, just as a different IG in it.
Yeah, I think he'll always make some kind of appearance, won't he?
Taika Waititi is also writing the next Star Wars film, which is great. So, by 0.2 of a second, Stam takes pole position ahead of Joe Biogan in P2. Laronix is in P3 ahead of Change Ralph is in P4. Mike Barnes is in P5. Championship leader down in P6. He's got a lot of things to do today. Potato is best qualifying in P7 ahead of Electrodan, who's in P8. Martinez, the GP4 champion, is in P9 ahead of Mike Bundy, who's in P10. Outside of the top 10, King David is in P11 ahead of Langfau, who's in P12. Lizard is in P13 ahead of Billy, who's in P14, Santuit is in P15, Dantan is in P16, Weebegs is in P17, Punch Yahid is in P18, and AJU is in P19. Shadow Britain did not qualify as he joined late. I haven't done it at that speed in a while, have I?
I think the Alfa Romeo in the position 3 is going to be got the best chance at it. The toe down to turn 1 seemed to be a very good. I think he could be one to watch out for. I can't remember anyone's name. I apologise. It's been a while.
That was the quickest I've ever done that. I think that was also the best and clearest I've ever done that, wasn't it?
All right, Alexander Hamilton.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got that one. Yeah. That's a really difficult thing to do, that rap, actually. Like I'm gonna watch Hamilton again with my friend. We always watch musicals.
And a blacksmith.
Yeah. But no, the speed he raps at is really difficult. But it's a shame that he ruined Dick Van Dyke's character.
EXANDER. We are meant to be a colony that runs into.
And demonetized.
Yeah, because I sound exactly like Lin-Manuel Miranda.
No, I think they just demonetized because, dear God, they don't want that to ever happen again. So, heading on to the formation lap. My bed just popped. So onto the formation lap.
Because of my rap skills.
Well, I'm on an air bed, so I should hope my bed doesn't pop. So now let's take a look. Remember, the outside of the top 10, the final 5 cars are not on tyres they qualified. They're on fresh tyres. So let's have a lot of medium runners back there. Actually, look at this.
Yeah, interestingly, some of the guys are on soft, so maybe they think that the rain's going to come earlier. And they think that running actually on the soft tyre would just be the more effective way of going about it.
It looks nice and dark out there, doesn't it? Let's have a look at Shadow Breath in the McLaren.
It definitely looks interesting. I don't know whether, I definitely say it's a bit gloomy, kind of like Slough on a Wednesday afternoon.
No one goes to Slough on a Wednesday afternoon. No one goes to Slough on a Tuesday afternoon.
It's bloody Slough.
It is Slough, yeah. It looks more like Canary Wharf after the Daleks as I've been finished with it. Hey, that's a throwback. So, as we're heading towards the final sector, 36 laps of racing here. It's a long old race here in Mexico. He's excited for it. Stam on pole position, he comes through the stadium section. The crowd going mysteriously mild as they're watching the cars. Obviously social distancing implying, and Stam's crashing on the formation lap. Alex, are you still there, mate, or have we lost you? We may have lost Alex.
I switched my mic off.
Were you talking?
Yeah, I've been talking for ages. I thought you were being really rude.
No, why would I be rude? I heard it pop. I was like, I'll keep talking in case someone's gone into his room.
But, no, so normally at this point you'd ask me, who are you going to look at, Alex? And I'd go, well, I'd look at number 10, but I see what you see, buddy.
Well, as you get ready to start the race, obviously slightly delayed in the form of Alex. Look at that run down to turn 1. This is going to be a monstrous start. What's going to happen? 36 laps of racing are about to begin here in Mexico. The stage of many world champions crowned here in the South American capital. The lights are on. The lights are out now. It's a good start from the back of the grid from the McLaren, but a better start from James Braden, flying up the inside of 2 cars already, and JP Hogan into the lead already at the run down to turn 1, and there becomes the slipstream fest heading towards T1. Who's going to be bravest? Who's going to be stupidest? It seems to be James Braden, though, who's trying to make it into P3 at turn 2, and a clip between the leaders, and James Braden not forced off. It was JP Hogan being forced off. Laronix is past him. Here comes comes James Braden, looking on the inside of McLaren and making contact. Champions battling here into turn 4. What a start to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said there, JP Hogan just running out of the room, got taken off the circuit. Unfortunately paying the price for it right now. Just holding on to 4th position, now gone down to 5th.
You've got to say, though, he got a very stout defence against James Braden as he ran into turn 3, didn't he?
Absolutely, he's done a good job. He's not lost too much time, so if he wanted to try and get back in it, he's not out of it just yet. Did he lose any wing though?
I don't believe so, but he just clipped a little bit. His Red Bull swapping positions further back. Let's have a look at Stam in P1 as he flies away. 7 tenths is the gap as they head on to lap 2 here in Mexico.
I'll tell you one thing I was wrong about, and JB will tell you all that me admitting I was wrong is something that rarely happens. I thought the Onyx would have been the one going into turn 1 first. I thought the toe would have helped him, got him past. I'm not saying it has anything to do with Onyx, I just don't think the toe was strong enough.
So, JB Hogan's new target is to get past James Braden and stay ahead.
Yeah, that's the title fight. Obviously, the race is the race right now, but in the dying stages of the season, you just want to go and beat the person that you've got to try and beat the overall standings. Each race kind of becomes a blur. It's now just one massive story.
Lizard and Bundy battling for... Well, look at that soon as there's about a lag. Do you apologise for that?
Yes, that was a bout of lagger.
I thought some insane internet speed when I'm at the house. Like I don't stream when I'm at work because the internet's terrible. It's raining, everybody, already. Lap 2, and here comes the rain.
In the words of the Beatles, here comes the rain. Doo -doo.
There we go. More tales from Alex's Spotify list. As Chain Game Wow now puts his sights on passing the championship leader. What can the Mercedes do as they're running through and the rain is in the air?
Nothing with the Beatles.
Is someone going to yell "Hey Jude" as they go past someone now?
Jude, hey. But I'll tell you what, there's a little train developing. DRS enabled, but for how long?
Electra down to the outside line on Potato. Potato trying to defend. Dan's going to haul it around the outside. Season driver versus rookie, and the rookie prevails. And he forced it wide, and that could have ended in disaster for both of the drivers. And here comes David in the other racing point, and he's almost been taken out by his teammate.
How much closer do you want to get?
There you go. This is Daniel Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel level racing here. Electra down through. Potato cutting across his teammates. Sector 2, yellow flag is Dantan.
Oh, not Dantan. That's unfortunate for the Red Bull. Shame. Punch in the heat will take that position.
James Braden under pressure. Here comes Chain Game Wow. Robin putting up the inside here and passing Chain Game, but he's made a mistake. Chain Game Wow's now under pressure from James Braden. He cuts across the line for the Mercedes, and Mercedes cannot get through. He's got to be careful though, because there's the McLaren. That McLaren is not going to take any prisoners when he goes to attempt to pass that Mercedes.
Exactly. He sees blood though. He sees blood.
Lizard in trouble. Lazard passed, so it wasn't Lazard. Weebeg's in trouble as well. And we see pit lane already is Irish New Potato. Alex, do you mind just watching him in the pits for me as we watch Chain Game Well under pressure from James Braden. James Braden getting through, and Chain Game Well cutting across and that's weaving across the track there. And JB Hogan will complain heavily that Robin's getting in the way.
Absolutely. When you said watch him in the pits, mate, I think you forgot that I can't see anything apart from what you see.
And you can also see your tyres though.
I can. He's gone intermediate, which I think is the one, if you are going to pit at this stage, might be a bit early, the track's be too dry, you'll struggle for at least a little bit, but it's probably the best decision right at the minute, given that it's such an interesting period. If you do have damage at this point, where do you go? What do you do? Do you do a couple of laps and go for another stop, or do you try and limit it just to one stop?
Mike Bars with a 3-second time penalty here on lap 4. And what an entertaining race we already have going right now for the championship fight, battling down further and further into the race.
Exactly, you're not wrong, buddy. It's going to be a good race. I think that the rain as well, it's going to kind of be a test of character for some. As you can see there, I just saw Bogan and JB Hogan, go a bit wide. Still a few patches of blue sky in the third sector. Won't be too long, I don't think, until we see drivers coming.
King David and Bundy almost making contact. Old friends here, racing in other leagues together as they power onto the straight. And David having damage is really just going to really damage his race here on the straight for the 22 car. Or the double Z car, as I call the racing points, because their numbers are terrible.
If I was David, I'd box it into the lap. The rain's coming down a bit heavy, maybe one lap too early, perhaps, but get that wing fixed before everyone comes into the pits. That's for sure.
His teammate is behind him though, so he has the opportunity, and he's going to lose time anyway with the racing point box where it is. Here comes Stankovic. The number 13 Haas looking to the outside line. The rain sticking on the car. The Haas on the medium combat tyres trying to hang it around the inside. And there's almost contact in Stankovic having to let out the throttle. So he didn't make contact. But that's opened him up to AJU. AJU to the inside line. We've seen it before with Toro Rosso's here at this corner. Normally breaking down for Brendan Hartley. Back in 2017, they go side by side as they swing round into the S's. A little bit of lag. Always off.
I like the fact we've got two races going on here. We've got one, or two at the top. We've got 1 and 2 going on it, and then Braden's got a train behind him. He's probably not too happy about that, but that's the state of affairs right now.
I'm heavily enjoying this race.
Who do you think will be the first to bite? Who do you think is going to go, I'm going to undercut, hope the rain's a bit it's going to become too quick and too much of a factor, so they box first. Jamie, who do you think is going to be the first to bite the bullet and box?
Well, AJU pitting now, but from the top 10, I think that we'll see is Shane Gainwell and JB Ogan go side by side. Shane Gainwell and James Braden now pushing it on. I think if I was James Braden or JB Ogan, I'd pit. And I think James Braden might now, as he's been passed by the McLaren and the Williams.
Great bit of speed there by the McLarens and also the Williams. They're chain well, getting the slipstream here. Braden will be irate that he let 2 cars go past him in such quick succession.
What can the championship leader do as he swims through?
But as you said, it could open up the perfect opportunity for him just to get on in there.
Trying to keep our eyes on every battle in the race is unfortunately impossible because there's so much going on here in Mexico.
It's great to be back.
They put on a good show for us, don't they?
Yes, absolutely. You know, this is a lot of fun. Conditions are playing their part too. I like the fact at the front as well. We've got a battle going on. They won't be able to take in there, but Neuronix is certainly keeping Stam honest. It's going to be an interesting one. I keep saying that because I don't know how this is going to play out. It's so interesting.
JB Ogan into pit lane. Oh no, the Williams are double stacking.
No communication there. That might harm. Well, definitely, it might harm.
Neuronix continues. So Williams are now servicing Stam. Tyres off, tyres on, drop the car. Now, here comes Shane Gainwell. He's had to wait. That's ruined Shane Gainwell's race against T. Jonas' teammate, JB Ogan, and James Braden, who is still behind the McLaren. And that's going to actually torture him as they head towards turn 1.
Yeah, and now Chain Game has Mike Barnes in front of him. That's going to happen.
Any helmets caught my eyes. I haven't looked at them properly. I still really like AJU's helmet, the Brendan Hartley-esque one. I really like that helmet.
Helmet talks with JB.
I need my own theme tune. It's helmet time.
Don't call it helmet time.
It's definitely helmet time. As we're looking at the season 4 season 6 GP2 champion, Shane Gainwell under pressure from the GP4 champion, and he's going to try and get forward, but he's been forced off for that penalty. I think that might be removed as I take a sip of my coffee.
Yeah, mate, we all know it's Chico time.
I have no idea what that is.
It's okay. Never mind.
Mike Bundy putting pressure on Electro Dan. DRS has been disabled.
If actually, cultured, do you know what Chico time is?
Cultured? I'm from Oxford.
Chico time is a big thing there.
So again, the Alfa Romeo is a double stacker. I wonder if Dan was trying to slow up Bundy enough that he wouldn't have a problem with his team. Oh, I wonder if he's judged this just right. The team running out with new tyres. It seems that they have judged it just right for him. What a brilliant move there for the Alfa Romeos.
Yeah, there was definitely some instruction there by the Alfa Romeos. Said just to create a gap. You don't know wing change, so he did have to wait a little bit. But yeah, now we're going to see things kind of go out to normal. Neuronix at the top, which is interesting to me.
The championship battle now goes on track, and James Braden is through versus JB Hogan. Leronix has jumped Stam in all of this. Sector 1's yellow flags are waving. That's further back at turn 1. It seems to be Martins. It is Senna in trouble.
It's always Senna.
He won the championship, so my son is doing me a good job of coming into a higher division and causing chaos.
Good old Senna, but you can see here, I don't think JB Hogan, will be too disheartened right now. He's got a good line going on. He's with his championship rival, but he just needs to make sure that Papaya Car is over the line.
Papaya Clar?
Sounds like a weird dessert.
No, that sounds like a bird trying to say car.
Sure.
What is in this coffee? What did they put in it? I don't know.
Bloody Rohypnol.
No, that's what I put in your drinks every day.
So that's why that happens.
Yeah, that's why you wake up in pain as well.
What is happening?
I don't know. We were serious at one point in our career. Do you remember?
Yeah, back before we went to university and did a shit ton of drugs.
Well, that's what you did. I started work, and that just made me insane. Dan Tan under pressure. Sector 2 yellow flags are waving. That seems to be one of the Ferraris in trouble. It seems to be Punch. No safety car deployed though for Punch.
In the state of the way the things are going, I'm kind of happy that there's no safety car. I mean, the gaps are they're beginning to spread out a little bit, which is unfortunate. But
there are battles creeping up between Sanchovic, Bundy, and Martins, particularly as we're watching now.
It's
Bundy...
interesting. Sorry to cut you off, Bundy, but it's interesting to see that it seems like the Ronix has had to set up a lot better for the wet than Stam, because Ronix is much faster than Stam in conditions.
A driver often has a heel, and I believe the rain might just be Stam's heel. He struggles in the wet conditions as we're here in Mexico. This track is not designed for the wet, really, but when it does rain, it's glorious.
Do you think that could invite Braden and JB Hogan to come into the podium fights?
Sanchovic making a mistake. I'd like to say that. I'd like to say Mike Bard's also in the chance for a podium because he's currently P4.
Good recovery from Sanchovic. He didn't go too far off. He's going to come under pressure from AJU. That's good job there, Sanchovic. So it's such an interesting race right now. 3.40 Stabs lost a second there on that lap. Lawrence is flying.
He is. Drivers struggling though as they try and get through on this circuit. Both Ferraris and all of this double stacked, so I believe both reserve drivers in the Ferrari struggling. AJU flying.
This isn't Ferrari's strongest outfit, but it wasn't planned to be. So good job for people coming on and giving it a go. Obviously, I don't know the wet conditions has helped their chances of having a result that they might have thought they could have got today.
Billy putting on pressure. Sorry, see Dan Tan trying to get past the Englishman in front. Sector 2 yellow flag. That is the Ferrari lifting off to let drivers through. That's going to knacker any chance of an assault from any driver here into Sector 2.
Exactly. Tell you that, mate. Look at this. Everyone's so spaced out right now. It's just kind of weird, but it's also kind of exciting. We've still got 26 laps to go.
Weebegs with a time penalty, but in fairness, he was off the track. You don't let drivers through off the track. You sit on the track and you let them go around you.
Exactly, but I think Weebags just knows that maybe he's out of his depth, just not wanting to interrupt the racing here today. Maybe Weebags just wants to try and get a few laps in the wet conditions.
Electro Dan getting electrified as he tries to pass Dan Tan. Too many Dans, I know. Yeah. Energy Dan, Electro Dan, Dan Tan. Electro Dan, he's got his, Daniel Craigallon, he was from school with me, there you go, he's a dick.
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig's nice, but as we look at, what can Electro Dan do? Well, he's going to have a tow, no DRS. It seems the Rebel initially has the better power out the corner, as it so often does, but I wonder if Electro Dan's got the better corner setup.
It's going to be interesting to see. I don't think he's getting down this straight.
Potato in the wall in Sector 3.
Obviously, you guys are seeing him go around the corner now, probably. I'm behind, aren't I? So I assume it's in real time, but it's obviously not. So, my apologies. I tell you what, mate, Laronix, he's coming up to a bit of traffic now. 5 seconds he's pulled out on Stan.
3 out of 4 races we've had here at Mexico have had rain. Is it notorious rain track in real life? Lee can't remember. It's a rainish track. It's in the middle of a city, and when it does rain, it pours. At Mexico, doesn't it? I'm sure we've had one in real life.
Absolutely.
Definitely had a wet race in real life.
Probably at some point, but it was in practice or something.
Lots of drivers struggling through the S's here, which is understandable. There's now another lapped car added to our list of lap cars. New Potato is now in the little lap car area. Well to Shadow Britain for continuing on in P17 with no setup on the car.
Keep your eyes on James Braden. He can smell blood. It was 3 seconds, I think, 2 laps ago. He's caught up 6/10 in a couple of laps, so it's not too bad for the Mercedes.
Lots of drivers struggling to overtake. Bless you. There's another one. Yeah.
I've got
for all you germaphobes in the chat, yeah, that was disgusting.
So I do apologise.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about sneeze.
Don't worry, guys. It's not what you think it is. I've been tested. It's hay fever.
You've been tested. I'm a key worker and I wasn't allowed to get tested.
Yeah, but you're Jack.
Again, key worker. Mike Bard's under pressure from chain game.
High risk, I guess.
Yeah, high risk of a fire alarm going off again.
What? A fire alarm? I thought you said firearm. I was like,
no.
You're going to shoot me?
No, I wouldn't shoot you. I'd shoot myself first.
How could you shoot me afterwards?
Post-mortem death, I'm just that good. Wow, what are we doing, man?
This is what happened to me and Jack.
Don't leave us alone. I've had coffee today. This isn't fair.
This is
703 AJU's out and safety car deployed. Big accident. Big accident.
It's going to be good. No offense to AJU, it's going to be good for the state of the race. People are going to close in now. Will people pit?
JB Ogan pitting. As we pass the wrecked car and AJU just hitting the inside wall, ricocheting across. And the McLaren pitting. Another set of intermediate tyres. JB Ogan pitting under the safety car for another set of inters. Is that a mistake?
I think time will tell.
There's no damage on the car. Haas coming in as well for another set of intermediate tyres. The tyre wear's not that high here, is it?
Maybe he just took a gamble. He was considerably a lot slower than Braden.
I tell you who this has helped out.
Position.
This has really helped out Stan.
Absolutely, and also Braden. Braden's now in a width of a win, and if Jamie Hogan's back down in 12th, I feel like that pit is either going to really help him or really hurt him. It's unfortunate. JP Hogan's got to be super quick here to just rush through the fields, but in these conditions, I don't know if he will be able to.
It'll be like a bowling ball through pegs as we're looking at Weebegs on the extreme wet tyres, the blue wet tyres. That's an interesting call.
Does that imply heavier rain on the way? Because that's a dreadful decision from JP Hogan.
It could. Well, it's not JP Hogan that's on it. It's Weebegs who's on the extreme wet tyres.
No, but I'm saying that JP Hogan pitted for inters at the same time. If full wets is only a few laps away,
that could be possible. We're not sure. Choice. The number 19 McLaren, though, one of the penultimate years.
I keep reading King David as Craig David. I don't know why. I'm like, oh my God, we got Craig
top
David
3 pitting too. They all pit for intermediate tyres. Everyone's pitting for another set of intermediate tyres, including Braden. So I wonder if initially JB Hogan thought he'd get an undercut on tyres. James Braden's still in P3 though. He thought he'd get the undercut, but it hasn't happened. He's going to still be behind everyone. Martins is going to be in P3. And he's jumped Braden due to the pitting.
Has JP Hogan gone up any positions then, or is he still down in 12th position?
No, he's in P9 now. So he has gone up a few positions.
There's a lot of people in the middle there that he's got to... Oh, he wants to get past Mike Barnes, doesn't he? He wants to...
He was racing on the safety car, wasn't he?
He really wants... He's probably hit himself going, why that was a silly move there. Obviously no one could tell that was going to happen. Tell you what, those Senna's put himself in 3rd, so... Considering this isn't his division, I know it's only projected third place, and he's going to have to box again probably. Still good job from Senna.
Weebeg's retiring for the session in the pit lane, so he's had enough on the extreme wet tyres.
Yeah, I don't think it was Weebeg's day, to be honest.
Nor do I, as we're obviously waiting for a few drivers to catch up. I don't think we'll see those drivers catch up, to be honest, at the back, as we're looking at the Ronix with the safety car in front of him.
They're a mile away.
The SFR safety car, driven by not Bert Meilander, so we need to find a driver that's going to be driving the safety car.
Will people like Shadow Britain catch up? Is the safety car in this lap?
No, safety car is not in this lap. One more lap behind the safety car here in Mexico as he comes through the stadium section,
so
where everyone's
like
putting up
Ferrari,
umbrellas.
then, the Ferrari and that, they might get lucky, who knows, especially if they're going at full speed.
No, they won't be going at full speed. They won't be allowed to.
They'll be going faster than the guys, won't they?
No, they won't. But the only thing they'll go faster then is probably people in the mid pack who's going to get boxed up. But they're on the other side of the circuit versus these guys who are coming through towards turn 1. They're at turn 5, so they're not going to be able to catch up at all.
Or at least they're getting slightly closer, which is going to help them.
Let's take a look at the positions gained in this race, and the big one, obviously, Martins, he's up in P3. He's up by 6 positions, so biggest mover, though, is Shadow Britain down in P13, who still has more time to go in this race.
No, it's Billy. It's Billy.
What's Billy? How many's Billy done? 9 rings, you're right. Billy has done 9 positions, so he's up in P5.
How dare you disrespect Billy? How dare you?
I don't know. There have been conversations before. But Billy, returning to SFR last week, the number 30 car. No, it's not Jolyon Palmer. Keep making that joke, but it is Billy, and he's right behind Braden now. He's got the championship leader in front of him. He's got to make sure he doesn't trip over him. Never want to see that.
Exactly. JP Hogan as well. He's just got to make sure that he flies, he overtakes. He's going to want to get past these guys ASAP. For me though, how much will people like Senna and Billy? How much will they be roadblocks?
They're definitely going to. Well, they don't care about the championship. Especially Senna, he's already got his, and Billy, he came in late. He's late in the championship. He doesn't care. He just wants to race. Safety car in this lap.
Punch in the head's going in the pits again.
So safety car in this lap. Laronix becomes a safety car. Is anyone going to trip over each other as they head towards the restart? Laronix weaving, warming up his tyres as a 29 car. Remember, he cannot go until the safety car control line.
This is going to be such an interesting restart. I am hyped.
Stam is ready to go. He's champing at the bit. And he's gone. Laronix dropping the power as he comes through. Oh, no, he's not. Apologies. He drops it now. Mike Bundy with a 5-second time, but 3-second time, but he's back to racing here in Mexico. As we go to green flag, they all come weaving into the rain. And what can Martins do? He's got warmer tyres than everyone else. He's looking to pass Stam for P2.
I was going to mention Martins. He was very good.
Stam looking at P1. He's going into the Ronix. They make contact. Stam is sliding as Stam's controlled the car. And they're all going to start tripping up over each other on lap 16.
That's incredible there. But Martins, son of Martins there, credit to him. He had a great first push off the restart. Senna
being passed by Braden pushing his pressure on, trying to get past him. I can't speak English anymore. And the Renault is going to have to concede, as then you see the Renaults do battle here into Sector 2. Look at a great helicopter shot we're getting right now. Mike Bundy passed by Sector, battling on, and they swap.
JP Hogan's not done much off the line. I know he's only had a quarter of a lap there, but he doesn't look too racy just yet.
Hey Jordan, how you doing, man? Let's take a look at the McLaren. He's under pressure from Chain Game. Wow, obviously a driver that he is going to be a little bit more robust with. Then earlier on in the race, he saw how robust the Williams was driving. Lazard checking up the inside of Langfeld. Does he make it through? It doesn't seem like he has.
Such an interesting race there. I just don't think this when JB Hogan made a stop, it was the right call. If he waited an extra lap like the rest of them, then it would have been.
I'm inclined to believe, but maybe he caused the all of it because they all reacted to him. James Braden now putting pressure on Stam. Stam looking to defend for his P2 for all of his life, but the championship leader, number 15 car of Braden, looking to get through. Lazard has finally passed Langfell on the straight on the run down to turn 1. And Shadow Britain's in trouble, being passed by 2 cars at once.
This race has turned into something else, doesn't it? It's a different beast.
Sector 1, yellow flags. There's a big pile up at turn 1. It seems to be Sancevic, Dantan, and someone else involved too.
Shadow Britain.
David being passed. David way off the track. Where are you going to try and go from there, David? As he tries to get past Bards. Bards is going to force him out wide if he's not careful as they're heading towards the S's. What an interesting and robust race from all of these drivers so far.
Exactly, but this is not a fight that JB Hogan wants to be involved in. He wants to get past this and move on.
Let's take a look at the championship contender of JB Hogan now on the stream as he piles up to try and pass. David going to stay off board with him because he's got a massive engine glitch right now. Hopefully that rectifies soon.
Bloody engine glitch.
Keeping our eyes on what JB Hogan can do as they head towards the straight.
I feel like JB Hogan now just has to go, screw it, I've got to take a risk here and go for, not a dive bomb as such, but maybe do moves that you normally wouldn't do, try something a bit different, because if he just runs a casual race, he's going to miss out here.
JB Hogan to the outside line on King David. He pulls to the outside line. We're going to swap on to King David's point of view. What can David do on the brakes? Is he brave enough? No, he's not. So JB Hogan up another position to P8. But can he hold it now on these very wet and very difficult conditions? Remember, the higher up he goes, the more chance. There's a big drift from JB Hogan. Well done to catch that. And here comes David trying to get back at him. David's going to chuck up the inside, but the McLaren doing his best to defend. And the advantage for James Braden now is he's just put a car between him and Robin really was. But look at the attack there for King David. He's been forced off wide, and there's more contact there as they try and come into the S's, and David left no room by any of the drivers behind him. He's got to find somewhere to tuck in at some point. There's going to be contact, but not careful. He's sideways, and you have to hit the brakes.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, David was public enemy number 1 there.
He was, unfortunately, wasn't he?
Just, yeah, everyone not wanting to just pushed him out of the way. So get out of the way, David.
He was more hated than the Winter Soldier after Civil War.
Exactly.
He's trying to pass Lazard now.
I was going to make an ill-timely joke, but it's probably not the best.
Well, let's stick with the Civil War joke. So, JB Hogan up in position. I wonder if James Braden can do the same as he tries to pass down. I don't think this lap, last lap, he seems to be closer as they head towards the 19th lap.
Exactly. JB Hogan though needs to get a move on here. I feel like
he certainly does.
He's trying to fight for World Championship here and he's battling for 8th position. I mean, it's just this is not me offending, trying to be rude to JB Hogan as well. I'm just saying it's not going to help him in the long run. Here, this, you know, especially when you're the person you're trying to chase is in 3rd. You know.
Well, he should be able to get past 2 of these cars relatively simply, Electro Dan and Martins, because they've both got very worn tyres.
Yeah, but it's whether he can do that though, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he will be relatively easy because they've got much worn tyres than him. They've got at least 6 laps, especially 6 laps on Martin's car versus JP Hogan's car, so he should be able to get through very easily from the Arrow McLaren.
Well, we'll see very soon, won't we?
Well, he's got to pass Mike Barnes first, and the Haas has been rather robust at racing. They're very good racing from everyone.
It's been a cracking race. I'm sad that we're about halfway through, to be honest.
Further back, you see Lazard and David battling. It seems that they're going side by side to catch them up there. Lazard chucking up the inside, and David going, that's not how you overtake. This is how you overtake, as he tries to swing back around the outside of the Toro Rosso. And he has done it now. He's been forced off and had to cut the corner to pass him, but it seems that these guys are just being rather robust, and he's almost put him in the wall. And Martin's pitch. One less car for JB Hogan to pass. So Lazard now trying to pass David. David trying to defend from Lazard, Langfell and Bundy. Langfell is going to try and watch as Lazard pulls the outside line on David. David's going to have to concede the position for now. What a intense battle for P9 here in Mexico. And JB Oga with a time penalty here in the McLaren. That's going to really dent his race as he tries to defend from chain game. Well, he's had a major mistake. Something's gone wrong for the McLaren there. He was dropped way behind him. I think he might have broken himself.
Yeah, that's not going to help him. Oh no, his race has gone from bad to worse, isn't it?
Unfortunately so. Here's James Braden, the championship leader, looking to make it P2 in this race.
This race could be the chapter, mate. I hate to be rude to JB Ogan here, but especially if Braden can get in second spot and it stays how it is. With what is there 3 rounds after this?
Yep, we got next. Wow, big strike from Stam, big catch. So next week we're in America, then it's Brazil, and then Abu Dhabi, I believe.
So yeah, exactly. This isn't good for JB Ogan in the long run.
Braden pulling to the inside line, which is going to turn to the outside line, and he's going to try and do it on Stam. Stam's going to hold him around the outside. Stam's been passed. James Braden into P2. He's bumped him. He's bashed him, but James Braden's through, and Stam is sideways.
That's from bad to worse, doesn't it? For JB Ogan there, doesn't it? Goes from bad to worse. He's got damage. JB Ogan's got damage. He must have damage. He's 1.2 seconds down.
No, he's not. I think he's just struggling in these conditions. There's no damage on the front wing at all. Lang fell past by Bundy. Bundy throwing it inside there. Very well done for Mr. Bundy. For the M stands for. Also stands for Master.
Can James Braden now catch the Onyx? Is it going to be one of those races?
It could be intriguing to see if he could. I am inclined to say no right now. But penalties wise, there could be something fun coming. I'm not sure if I know Lawrence has got 3 seconds worth of penalties.
Well, somehow Braden's already got 1.3 seconds out of Stam. So
I think to be honest, that might be more down to Stam struggling rather than James Braden's initial speed.
It's going to be interesting here. Can Stam back a few more people up and bring JB Ogan back into it? That might be a factor in this. JB Ogan needs to pick up the pace here because he's dropping.
Chain game, wow, it's Robin trying to get past Mark Bars. Mark Bars making many moves on the straights. Nothing untoward though as they head towards turn 1. The Dutch driver, the Flying Dutchman, trying not to make a mistake there. Shadow Britain with a time penalty. Still well done to him for racing so hard in P14 from with no qualifying.
Agreed. I'll agree with you on that one.
Drivers all now getting ready. They got to start thinking about when they're gonna. Oh, big Bowser lag again. What is with this game and lag recently? They've got to start to be thinking about the race as a whole rather than just this lap, haven't they?
Agreed. Yeah. It's one of those things. I don't know how to grasp this race at the moment. Certainly, it's certainly an interesting one that will kind of transpire as we go along.
Most certainly do. And now we focus on Robin once more as he starts to close up on the drivers in front. Electro Dan and Wido Billy with the most worn tyres on the grid, both 14 and 15 laps respectively, going to be turning into 15 and 16 lap old tyres. As no, Billy pits. So that's one more position gain for JB Ogan into P7 now.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those races now where before we had such a clear race, didn't we? We knew that this was going to be a 3-way fight at the top, and it looked that way. And now JB Ogan's got himself caught in the midfield, and it's changes the whole complexion of what we thought this race could be.
It certainly has, but JB Ogan is going to start to catch up. Because remember, chain going well. Hopefully, he's going to start battling alongside one of these guys. Let's have a look at King David, though. He is 2 tenths away from Mike Bundy's rear end. Then Sanchovic is actually even closer. He's going at the inside of Langfell. And the Haas is through. Whether he can continue going on, and yes, he can continue into P11 as he tries to defend from Lang, and Lang is going to have to back off. So now we wait. Shane going well with a time penalty. That may help as JB Ogun is now under a second and a half a second away from the Dutchman in front. So Norway versus Denmark. It's like the Winter Olympics all over again. Not Denmark, it's the Netherlands.
Yes.
He won't thank me for that one. Punching your heat is going on the wet tyres again, the extreme wet tyres.
It does look a bit more wet, I'll be honest.
I thought it was drying out at one point.
Okay then, well, there you go, commentary at its best when the commentators
And let's go down pits.
That they shouldn't disagree on because it's just fact, but hey, that sums me and JB up for you, doesn't it?
And let's go down onto intermediate tyres, so that tends to make me believe that we will not be having the extreme wet tyres out today to play. One safety car in this race, that was caused by AJU after he made a mistake and crashed into wall, and unfortunately that ended up ending his race. But hopefully we'll see him again next week. All the drivers now trying to get ready. We're gonna. What was that? Someone was out wide. It seemed to be the Ferrari. He was off the track. Billy with a time penalty there as we're looking at chain game well, putting more pressure onto Mike Barnes again. Battles are forming. They just haven't come into full fruition yet. It's like the tension between the Daleks and the Time Lords right now, isn't it?
It's one that, again, sorry for going silent a couple of times, but it's again, I can't really think right now because I'm so perplexed to how this race has turned out the way it is.
There's such a tension in the whole grid you can feel. You know, you feel like something's about to happen, don't you?
Yes.
I mean, I'm really tense right now.
I'm very tense. I don't know how to feel right now.
Obviously, no DRS to help out the drivers around. Let's take a look at Lizard. Is he going to be the one to make the move first? A nice stalemate here. Lizard seems to have the best straight line speed of everyone. Sanchovic passing David as he pits now. JB Ogun demoted to P7 as here comes Lizard to the inside line. The 71 car, is through.
Yes.
What a move there.
It's so. Again, this is Lizard. This is just bad for JP Ogun on all levels. This isn't it?
Unfortunately,
especially with James Braden, he's comfortable now. He doesn't look like he's gonna get first. The Rolex is all over that today, but it just looks like this isn't good for JP Ogun. He shouldn't be here in terms of the overall standings in the championship.
I think what may have happened is him. But maybe doing a little bit less wet practice than possible. Sector 2 yellow flags are waving. That's just in front. It seems to be the slow-moving Ferrari of this pack that we're watching now, getting overtaken. A car, if they're being overtaken, should not cause a yellow flag.
I agree.
That's just the guy. That's because I'm very set in my way with the rules because I spend all my time stood there on a bank watching cars go round in the corner, and if they crash I jump out and try and sort them. But the Renault's under pressure. There's a lot more rain here in the stadium section as they almost plough into each other. Does Electro down running into the back of Billy, almost getting his front wing entangled with the gearbox of the Renault. So as we keep our eyes forwards, Billy trying to pass Senna trying to pass the Ferrari, the lapped car Ferrari of Punching Heat, and Billy is going to lift off fully so he doesn't hit his teammate, and Dan is going to go miles off the track because he got too much of a tow from 4 cars, and that caused a time penalty. Unfortunately, he is not going to be finishing in that position so far in this race.
Yeah. Again, the conditions are tough. It's catching the drivers out. It's just an all-round. It's a different beast in Mexico in the wet, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
God, it feels good to be back commentating with you. I feel 17 again. Jesus Christ, I'm 19 next week.
We're all too old for this, aren't we?
Yeah, I feel like a young whippersnapper now.
I'm not kidding, right? I found the grey hair in my beard the other day, and I plucked it out and thought, right, that's not happening.
Now I'm drinking booze and almost every night and crying on Zooms with my mates doing pub quizzes.
And that's just because you wrote the quiz.
Young Alex playing back when he was doing this, he was full of hope, and now he's just, well.
Yeah, you become an adult, you become a broken man like the rest of us. 6-3, yellow flags are waving. Punching your heat, struggling on the wet tyres. No, obviously no DRS as Billy tries to pass his teammate once more. I don't think they'll hold station here. I think Billy wants points. Potato pits. It's interesting, they're only going about 17 laps, 16 laps on the tyres before pitting. Yes. I'm quite intrigued in this.
Me too, as well. It's just, this race is confusing my brain.
That'd be the booze.
I'm currently on
Renaults collide! They've hit each other! Billy hitting his teammates! I thought he was going in strong. I thought he was going in far.
Yeah, Billy just didn't brake there. I think from the angle that we saw, he could have thought maybe Sanders overshot it slightly. We saw a gap there, but the gap closed. I
think what happened with Billy, because we initially were watching it from the rear end, and I thought, we're not slowing down. So I think he just missed his braking point, fiddling around with too many controls on the thing. Maybe he was playing Gallagher on the controller.
That man is playing Gallagher.
The amount of Marvel references in this stream have been insane.
Can't do a Marvel stuff on my podcast right now, so it's quite.
Yeah. I don't get invited to podcasts anymore. I'm not allowed to.
You're not going to be bloody invited to mine, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know that. Too much pressure. Lazar putting pressure on Shane Kane. Wow, as the lights flash in the rear wings. Again, we just checked the 2 yellow flags. That's the Ferrari off. Let's take a look at him because we can. He's putting back onto the circuit, and there is Leronix. The leader is going to pass him through. He's almost making contact with the leader there, punching your head into the wall and he's crashed himself out. And that might be a safety car. Safety car deployed, and that is a big no-no for punching your head. He has crashed himself out and caused a safety car.
That's not what you want to see.
That was so poor.
Just to brush past that, because I really don't want to give any attention to that. That's not what we want to see at all.
Nah,
this does open up the opportunity. This does open up the opportunity for JP Hogan though. I'd say it in that way.
It does. It does. Drivers pitting now for fresh intermediate tyres. I believe we'll see everyone pit.
If I'm JP Hogan, I'd stay out.
Well, he's literally at the limit, as what we've seen by every other driver. Lazar continue on, and JP Hogan does carry on. So he is carrying on. Whether he's going to try and pit, because he went one lap earlier than everyone else last time, and he came out so far back. I wonder if this time he's going to do the reverse and try and go in one lap afterwards, but he will not jump this man.
He's currently up on Braden to move up to the side, actually. It will only be, about 4 laps of racing? Shall I just stay out and try? That's what I'd do. Or is there, because there's not a big enough gap behind Braden, is there? There's 9 seconds, actually.
He won't fit in that gap, no, because the pit lane's about 18 seconds.
So no, he wouldn't. If I was him, I'd stay out. I don't know about you, JB.
I don't know, because I haven't driven these cars on this track in a long time. So, and I don't know how these intermediate tyres work. Everyone else has been pitting about lap 16, and he's on that limit now. So by the law of what we've seen everyone else doing, he should pit. But we're in the last, where are we, 8 laps of the race?
Yeah, and also, the World Championship's at stake here. If he can get any points back on Braden just by holding him up.
I don't think he'll hold him up for long, because remember, Braden's on fresh intermediates, but we will see him get through, but I think JB Hogan will have one more position of what he normally would have had.
I don't know, I think JB Hogan's pad just got to try and do a Lewis Hamilton from back in the day, back people up into Braden. I know it's not the kind of racing we want to see, but this is the championship we're talking about here. I think you've got to take any measures you can.
So Billy with a 10-second penalty for extending track limits, so that's going to drop him way down the order as the safety car is out. Way down the order. There we go. That's bringing me back to the days when I used to do drama. I did Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. You go, kids, if you remember that one, then you went to a Christian primary school. It sucked. Billy retiring. It's 10-second penalty in the tyres. Jesus. It's like people forget that there are other penalties for other people when they just do that, you know? And that annoys me a lot. It's now I can do about it, but it just annoys me, yeah?
I get you, man, I get you. You know, I mean, there's not much I can really say on this. I just agree.
So, 7 laps of racing here in Mexico. We've got one more lap under the safety car, and the championship battle is going to do once more on track. We've seen a lot of these guys battling on track recently. We don't normally see it.
Do you know what? You're right.
James Braden, currently P5. He's going to be, by the letter of the law, he should be P2 in this race, but he can probably, if he's... He can't sneak past Laronix. So Laronix is just going to rock it off as normal. Unless Laronix makes a big mistake.
Yes, I'm with you here on this. Do you think we're going to get one more lap on the safety car, or do you think this is it?
One more lap on the safety car as we pass the control line now. One more lap. And Lee and Mr. Lee. Oh no, safety car in this lap, sorry. That was a late call. So Bert Mylander is slowing down. Sorry, Bert Mylander. Laronix is slowing down, Bert Mylander is speeding up. As now we get ready.
5. So really, it's 6 laps for Jabogan on his tyres. I think he'll manage it, whether his tyres will be any good by the end.
Here we go, folks. The final stage is here in Mexico. The sun's coming out. Drivers coming through. Mike Bard's in P2, and there goes Laronix. He's dropped the power and he's out the final corner up full speed here in Mexico. 6 laps of racing, and it's a great start for Laronix, already breaking a second away from everyone else. Green flag waves.
Yeah, that was a brilliant start.
Championship Titans, here we go. James Braden pulling to the inside line if he can. What does JBO can do?
Don't give him, I'd defend the inside.
He has hit him. A little bit of contact there, but James Braden's through. He knows he can't defend on his worn tyres. This could be the best lap of James Braden's life. He passes 3 cars. Here we go. He's looking to pass Lizard now. He's pulling to the inside line, and James Braden chucking over the inside. What a move there as he tries to get through, and he's just done it. He gives zero mess right now. He's saying right through. I'm going for the lead.
Or maybe it's Jim Bogan's plan to try and get into second spot.
I don't think he's got the tyres for second spot. I don't think he's got the tyres for third spot, because he's got drivers like Stam coming behind him on fresh tyres.
Yeah, true.
No, Mike Bard's off the track. And what can James Braden do? He wants the lead of this race. Here is the Williams going battling now, as Robin tries not to overtake his teammate and then tries to stay ahead of Electro Dan. But Stam's off the track. Stam's struggling in these conditions. They all go through the stadium section. The Williams are going to swap positions. There he goes. Robin around the outside. Dan's forced into the wall. Oh, and Stam's round. He's spinning in front of Dan. What a great bit of defending. And no, into cheating and then crashing. Big crash. Martin's out. Stam out, Dan out, virtual safety car deployed for a massive pile-up at the final corner.
That was crazy.
That was insane. Daniel immediately coming into the chat, into the comms chat, and saying, and same with Senna, both saying the exact same thing of what the fuck, and I will stick with that one. I can get penalised for swearing, I don't care. What on earth went on there? Sector 3 yellow flags, back to green flag racing here in Mexico.
They cleaned that up bloody quick.
Oh yeah, we're not that quick in Silverstone, I'll let you know. We're not that quick. Speedy Gonzalez is the pit crew here. I think Stam might... I'm not sure if Stam will end up with a penalty for that, because I don't know what happened. Stam was just... I'd like to see footage, because Stam was just sliding everywhere.
For my money, I think racing incident, because Stam caught it, and then the Renault, also, I think it was a Renault, came on the inside, it was clipped to racing incident from...
I don't know, there's no contact. Stam lost it on his own, that's the thing. Stam lost it on his own, span across the nose of Electro Dan. Electro Dan tried to avoid him, and then as Stam didn't hold the brake as he came across on the straight, And as that happens, James Braden into P2, and as that happens, they filter back into traffic as Dan tries to get off Stam, and it ends up in 3 cars out, and a very upset GP4 champion. As Mike Barnes now tries to defend and attack James Braden, and the 24 car swinging around the outside. James Braden's got more grip though, and he goes, right, I'll take this P2. But the gap at the top is now about 3 seconds, I believe.
And only 4 laps to go.
5.
4.
No, sorry, 5 seconds I went. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, no, I said 5 just randomly because I in my head I said seconds. JP Hogan into P4 now, and Mike Barnes in trouble. Mike Barnes in some serious trouble now as there's 3 cars off the track. Robin overtaking JP Hogan. Mike Barnes taking contact, and King David hitting the back, and Barnes in trouble, and big one, JP Hogan in trouble. These drivers have gone mental.
JP Hogan's gone
Mike
crazy.
Barnes crashed. Mike Bundy is not able to find JP Hogan's back in P7. Oh no, he's gonna hate 7 after this, isn't he?
Probably.
No, Dan, you did not hit Stam. I'll vouch for that. In a court of law, you did not hit him.
You know, it's what's Grand Prix turned into?
Chaos.
And also, the worst thing for the McLaren is best case scenario, 5th place finish.
I don't think he's got any power left in that McLaren. I think the tyres are worn. They're going. I think we might even see a puncher. Here comes Bundy to pass him. And this would be ultimate hatred. The teammate to your championship rival is about to pass him. 95 passing 19.
It's just a sticky sitch, isn't it, this one?
Yeah, Dan, I think I would put it forward to seeing Stam's telemetry, because I want to see if he was holding the brake or not on that straight. Because if he was holding the brakes, there's no reason why he would have been reversing into traffic, you know? He would have waited for it to be clear. That's at least what I'm seeing right now. Honestly, you can't trust me.
I think at the minute we need to talk about Laronix. Look how far he's already got. He's got a 5-second gap already.
Now, I'm not sure. I know Laronix has a 3-second time penalty, but I wonder if there's I do distinctly remember possibly seeing another one, but it might have been for Lazard. So there could be a chance where on penalties James Braden could win this race. It could mean that the championship's almost wrapped up.
Sorry, Nude Potato's name came up and I just started thinking, Nude Potato changed my life. You know, the baked potato thing?
I actually don't.
The Matt Lucas baked potato.
I haven't listened to it. I should listen to that. I like Nardole. As we now watch Stankovic trying to pass David. David's doing well after really struggling in this race, but here's Langfeld passing JV Hogan, and TNR team swap here as Langfeld has just got more tyres. And I think the gamble, it was admirable to try and stay out on these tyres, but I think the gamble is now not paying off as he almost ran to the side of Dantan.
So they end up with no points?
It's on the cards right now. I think penalty-wise he might still get some points, but he's struggling. And remember, P10 right now up the inside. Dantan, that's very risky for Dantan. He does put a bit more brake on so he doesn't hit the McLaren though.
I can't wait to interview. I can't wait to interview Braden, because this is Braden's championship to lose after today's result.
You see the car 4-wheel drifting. He's letting them through. He's got no tyres, and there's no points now for JB Hogan. The championship fight is now firmly heading towards Brackley.
Oh no! Has he got a puncher?
We would see, because it'd come up with a yellow flag if he got a puncher first. Dantan with a time penalty, so that might help him.
Possibly.
Still, final lap of racing here has begun. Let's have a look quickly at JB Hogan. It doesn't seem like there's no puncture on the car. And the man who won in Monza controversially is now trailing the field. And it was admirable, and he had to do something on the strategy. But
let's try.
It's just gone wrong.
If he boxed, it would have been him throwing in the towel in the championship.
King David passed by Stankovic. David, though, coming back at him into the apex of the round. David sliding the 22 car in the pressure, and Bundy passing him. These two, and Bundy's forced him off. Oh, I think David should really hand that back, but I'm not sure. Only saw it from one angle, as now we're watching. Battle for P3 though is coming at it. As Mike Bundy tries it on the inside of David. David's going to have to let up the pressure. Battle for P3 though, on the final lap, it could change. The redriver Lizard versus Robert.
Can we say Williams on the podium?
Well, we expected the Williams on the podium, but it wasn't going to be this one. We expected the other one, but the other one went flying.
Yes, the other one did go.
Fireworks sent up. Laronix through the stadium section. It seems that we will have a Greek driver winning the race. He started in P3. He's going to slide through, and there's a puncture for JB Ogan crossing the line, and it's going to be Laronix wins from James Braden in P2 ahead of Lazard in P3 so far. Who is it on podium? Oh, crossing the line! It's Chenge! Wow! And there, he got him on the line, and there's the flat tyre for the McLaren, the championship contender. It's all over. Is it all over though?
He risked it for no reward. I mean, no points. What does that do? It puts it about.
He couldn't do anything. I don't think he could have done anything, but the championship fight, as he spins around, you've not won the championship yet, but I think that's almost. He can't do anything. He's not going to lose out to Shadow Britain, but the McLaren's coming home in P11 and P12, and that's going to really, really hurt.
I'm excited to talk to Braden in a second, because
I think only him and Robin will be joining as we watch JB Ogan crossing the line. And JB Ogan with an unserved penalty anyway. That would have changed the race completely. Laronix wins.
I'm going to do some quick maths, so please take it with a pinch of salt.
Laronix wins. The German driver wins ahead of Mike Bundy's teammate James Braden in P2 and Robin in P3.
There's 51 points now in the championship. Literally.
If Braden doesn't score and JB Ogan wins both races, or 2 races, he's back in it. No.
Yes.
Yeah, he's back in it into Abu Dhabi. But
if Braden has even a solid result in any races, it's.
So here are the results barring issues investigations. Laronix wins ahead of James Braden in P2, Chengo in P3, Honva line passing Lazard who's in P4, Santovic in P5, and Langfell who had a good race in P6, and Bundy who's in P7, David who was in P8, and the closed potato who was in P9. Dantan closing out the top 10 in P10. Outside the top 10, Shadow Britain in P11, and JB Ogan had a puncture on the last lap, he finished in P12. Outside of the people who did not finish the race, Mike Bards, Electro Dan, Stam and Martins made a huge collision at the final corner, I would say by Stam's fault, I'm not sure though. Billy retiring after getting a 10-second penalty, punching Yahid, losing it on the wet tyres. Weebegs deciding that he had enough at AJU, crashing out, causing the first safety car. Und relax.
There we go. You can see that Weebags are struggling 20 seconds of penalties. And now I'm excited that sort of Braden. I think he's got to have all the confidence in the world going into America, and wrap this championship up. I think it's his to lose now for sure.
So we'll get them invited in. We'll get James Braden and Shane going well, because I don't think Laronix comes to interviews. I think he struggles with English. No, because that's how Muslim little things. I like Lewis because he's British, but that's about it. Meh. Some things he said are a bit silly. Where? Oh, they're hiding offline. Okay, there's one. James Braden hiding offline again. I only hide offline if I'm not wanting to hide from someone who I don't want to talk to, which doesn't happen much. Oh, come on, catch up. There we go. I need to take off some drivers that I don't talk to anymore. Come on. I've got too many people on the fences. No, because none of them are SFR. Why can I not find James Braden's name? Am I drunk? Right, we'll quickly invite Chain Game, and then we'll do it another way. Because I'm having an utter moment where I can't do anything. He was online, but he was hiding. What the? I'm having a elderly now, aren't I? Right, there we go. That's 2 invited. That's all we need for these interviews. Let's get the alpha on screen. Alright, so we have Robin joined us. We'll just wait to see if we can get James in.
Hey, there we go.
You got both of them in, have we?
Yeah.
There he is, yeah. Alright, take it away, Alex.
Well, congratulations, boys. Honestly cracking stuff. Let's start with you, Chain Game. 3rd place, solid for you today. Very, very solid. You must be astounded considering the conditions, and just to get that kind of result must be awesome.
Yes, with the rain coming, I had chosen for the dry setup, where I have lower wings, and with those difficult conditions and with my teammate in front and my pitting on the same time was difficult, so I lost an extra second every time. But my pace in the rain was better than I personally expected. I'm very happy that I shouldn't be happy of it, but when Adam retired, the safety car came out, and then just 3 corners before that I said that I wanted a safety car, which I got, and the last 6 laps it was very exciting with a lot of battles, and I was going 3 wide at the turn 4 with Jay Bolton and Mike, I think it was, and catch Lazard and take a podium, which I'm very, very satisfied about. And in the fight I have with Denton and Lazard for 3rd place, this is an important result to take the 3rd in the championship, so I'm more than happy.
Awesome. Also, as well, in the larger context of the series, you're currently in 3rd in the series, and with the 3rd place here, that has stamped your authority on that position.
About the position I got, or
The championship.
Yeah, just.
To be honest, I didn't really expect it. I wanted to be in the top 5, and to get 3rd in these tricky conditions is very. I'm very happy for that. Hope to continue this form to America.
Exactly, buddy. And now, if my maths are correct, your closest competitor is now Lazard, who won the race. But again, now you're battling for a top 3 overall. That's got to be a good feeling, right?
Yes, it is, and this tier is so close, and everyone is fast, and to be in 3rd place for pretty much all season, it's very good. And sometimes I can fight with the championship contenders, and that is always a good feeling.
Awesome. Well, unless you've got anything to ask Jack, that's all I've got to say.
I just want to ask Robin one question. Were you actually past him at the line, or did you pass him, or was it passed on penalties?
At the moment when the finish was, the game said I was in front, but when I was in that spectate mode, let's say that, I was 27,000 behind him or something. But on my screen you can't see who was in front.
Oh.
We'll assume that you were in front, though.
On penalties, yes.
Honestly, you passed him on the line, though. It was a great move.
Anyway, James, hello, mate. Been a while.
Yeah, long time no speak. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, man. And obviously 2nd place for you. Very quick. A lot of work to do there. A lot of overtaking for you to get that 2nd spot. You must be chilled. You must be thrilled. Sorry, not chilled. Thrilled. Chill now, but thrilled at the time.
I'm chilled and thrilled. No, great. I'm really happy with that. That was a really good race. Bit hectic in parts. Yeah, a lot of overtaking, but once I got up into second, I was quite content with that. I did know Lyronix had a penalty, but I thought about staying out onto that last safety car, but my tyres were dying. I had to properly back off because I was having to save the tyres because I was thinking I was going to get these tyres to the end. So I was like, if I'm going to pit again, I'm going to lose all the positions. So no, I backed off there, but I had to pit under safety car because my tyres were dying. But no, I'm really, really happy with second. I really struggled at the beginning. Chain Game was all over me. But on third, by the way, Chain Game. But I just couldn't get any grip in the when we were on slicks and it was a bit greasy on the track. But I was just like, I'm ahead of Jabogan, who eventually got ahead of me, and then I repassed him, and it was a great battle with him. And so happy to extend my championship lead. So that's all that mattered today.
And also, talking about extending a championship lead. Now, if my maths are correct, which they're normally not, you now have a 51-point advantage over JB Ogun going forward into America. That's surely, obviously, you can't get complacent, but surely you must be thinking that's one hand on the trophy now.
Yeah. Also, I'm not trying to think too much of the title. I think that's hindered me in parts. But if my maths are correct, if I outscore him even by 1 point in USA, I'm champion because that would be 50 left for Brazil and Abu Dhabi. So, to be fair, it'd be nice to get it done in USA if I can. If not, it's not the end of the world, and I'm still going to race normally. I said I'm here to win, but
well, I mean, every driver's here to win, and also winning a world championship in a Mercedes in Austin is very, very big these days. I heard. So good luck to you, buddy. But I think that's all I want to say to these guys. Jack, do you have any questions of wisdom?
Are you going to take anything differently into going into America, James? Are you going to be thinking, right, this time I can genuinely win the championship, or are you just going to try and let it go? Just try and drive it like every other race?
I think I'll be more relaxed. The reason is, obviously, the last two races, Jabogan's taken a lot of points out of my lead. So it was like I was thinking in my mind, this was the critical race. If I could outscore him here, even if it was by 3 points, like say if I increase my lead by, say I had a 33-point lead, 33 had 3, 36, a 36-point lead with 3 to go. It's going to be difficult to overturn. So I was thinking if I could just outscore him here by anything, it's going to be really difficult. But if he obviously outscored me, then it's game on. So I think I'll be a lot more chilled, to be fair. If I get it done in Austin, that'd be great. If not, on to Brazil. But I think I'll be more chilled, and I'll race as always, as I normally do. So there's a chance to win. That's why I race. So
well, that's it for the podium interviews. Alex, that race at one point had us thinking we had no idea what was going on, and it definitely lived up to it.
Well, it was a tale of two halves, wasn't it? We thought the fight was between James and JB Ogun for the whole race. We thought they were very close in the first half. Then that one critical mistake from JB Ogun there to box a lap earlier than James did just put him so far down the pack. And I think that mistake has won James the championship. And it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here because it's certainly the race itself, obviously, there was a massive crash, which is fun as well. But no, it's been a pleasure coming back, and I'd love to do it again at some point.
So, that is it. But SFR is not done. This week, we are sticking in Mexico for next week. For the next race, we are in the Premier Division tomorrow night. I believe, James, you're not on commentary, are you?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, but someone's on commentary. Robin, are you on commentary?
James is too busy on the champagne after
yeah, he's partying with you, Alex, isn't he?
Should be Cadwell.
Well, we'll see who's on commentary tomorrow night. But on Friday is the Classic Division. As always, they're going to be racing around Austria in the McLaren MP4-13. I will not be attending this race though, as I have got prior commitments. Yeah, I've got other commitments for this race. Oh, well, you can...
The drag show on Zoom, yeah? You'll go in drag?
No, I am that show. I am simply in that show. I'm not watching it, I am that show. There you go, folks. That's something you didn't know about JB. Next week we're off in Austin. I'm not sure who's on commentary with me next week on Wednesday, but we will find out closer to the time. My name is JB. Thank you, Alex, for joining us on commentary again.
Absolutely, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. See you guys around.
I will see you next time for another edition of the GP2 Championship. Have a very good weekend and stay safe, everyone. We'll see you again soon. Ta-ra, guys!